Moving on, Game 5 is Monday in Denver. Get some instant analysis. Welcoming CBS Sports HQ NBA analyst John Gonzalez. John, the Timberwolves guard Donte DiVincenzo suffering a torn right Achilles 79 seconds into Game 4. First of two big injuries for Minnesota. Also lost star Anthony Edwards to a left knee injury during this game. He's set to undergo testing. This is a massive blow, losing DiVincenzo rest of way, and then now the concern for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, you go up 3-1, but also you lose two of your five starters, and for sure you're out of Donte DiVincenzo, right? Because he's got the Achilles, and that's going to be a long recovery for him. And it's such a shame, too, because he's had such a good... Well, what are they going to look like moving forward and into the second round? Like, that is a really tough ask to be down two of your best players moving forward. It's just a super bittersweet night for them.
Yeah, it's the next man up situation. I mean, that's how it goes here in the playoffs. And you saw Ayo Dosunmu go off. I mean, what a night for him. 43 points in 42 minutes. I mean, this is a guy that carried Minnesota on this night. What did you see from him to have this opportunity?
Yeah, he's a bucket. And the Wolves realized at the trade deadline that they needed to get better off their bench, because it was basically just Naz Reid off of their bench, and then they were just crossing their fingers every night and hoping that they weren't going to need anything beyond that. And they really missed Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who left in free agency and now is a starter for the Atlanta Hawks. And so the Wolves looked around and said, well, who can we get at the trade deadline that might be able to bolster our scoring? Well, boy, did they land on the right guy, because Ayo Dosunmu can flat out score, and he was super underrated and underutilized in Chicago. Comes into the Wolves, fits in seamlessly. Chris Finch has been singing his praises about how good a shooter he is. Well, once Donte DiVincenzo went down, you figured, okay, Ayo's number is going to get called here. Ant goes down on top of that. Now there's no choice, but Ayo's got to have a big game. I mean, you would want Julius Randle to 100 shots, and he was 6 for 16 tonight, scored 15 points on those 16 shots, but it was really Ayo coming to the rescue, where he was hyper efficient, getting anywhere he wanted to go on the floor, little floaters, three-pointers. He was 13 for 17 from the field. Made all 5 of his three-point attempts, made all 12 of his free throws. When he's getting into the lane, he's got that floater, and he's getting fouled. That's a problem for the opposition, because he's also such a good free throw shooter. So they're going to need everything that Ayo Dosunmu can give them going forward if they want to keep their season afloat. I know they're up 3-1. That sounds crazy to say, but into the second round, if they should make it there, they're really going to need him.
Most points off the bench in Minnesota Timberwolves playoff history: 43 points in 42 minutes, 12 for 12 from the free throw line. As you said, make your free throws, kids. I mean, he had himself a night. Now,
don't like each other. And if you're the Nuggets, I understand being frustrated with Jaden McDaniels going and scoring the ball there when the game is clearly in hand. But also, you could have done your talking in the game, right? I mean, when Anthony Edwards goes down and when Donte DiVincenzo goes down, you're figuring, especially when you're already down 2-1 in this series, you absolutely have to have that game, and you're figuring you're going to be favorites for it, and instead you get run off the floor towards the end. So, sure, I get being frustrated, but bad night for the Nuggets all the way around.
Well, you said it was a bad night for the Nuggets. Not a great night all around for Minnesota either. They lose Donte DiVincenzo, a torn right Achilles. He's done rest of way. Again, further testing on Anthony Edwards' left knee injury, but they do get a burst here from Ayo Dosunmu, who goes for 43 points in 42 minutes. They do take a 3-1 series lead. Game 5 is Monday back in Denver. John Gonzalez here with us on CBS Sports HQ. John, thank you. So when the Timberwolves have themselves a 3-1 series lead, they don't lose. They're a perfect 3-0. But now they got to figure out what to do without DiVincenzo, and some concerns for Anthony Edwards. Now dealing with a left knee injury. It's his bad knee. He will undergo testing as they wait to see those results. Again, Game 5 back in Denver on Monday night.
On the Nuggets and the way that game ended today. And I'm sure those of you watching, first of all, thank you for watching the postgame show here on Altitude. I don't know where to start, and I don't know where to go. All I know is this. I can't remember the last time I've been this disappointed in this basketball team.
So I think it's just an interesting thing here. 96 points for the Denver Nuggets in this game. And this was the very best offense in the NBA over the course of the regular season. And Minnesota's stopping them every single game. And it's just, it's looking I don't know where the offense, there's a lot of reasons for the offense not being what it is, what it has been for the vast majority of this season, but it really is the story of this series. The two best units were the Nuggets offense and the Minnesota Timberwolves defense. Well, the Timberwolves defense is winning right now, and it's winning by a lot. And until the Nuggets can solve how to score the basketball in this series, then it might be short.
Yeah, Vic, you say disappointing. I think in my 21 years of watching Nuggets basketball, this was one of the most frustrating games I've ever watched. Now, obviously, we're not calling the game. We're sitting in the green room.
Makes it worse.
And it does make it worse because, you know, obviously we're pulling for the Denver Nuggets, and we want the Nuggets to win. But the energy and the execution and the plays they could have had back and the missed easy shots and the layups, it was all just too much. And you have to give Minnesota credit. They played great. Ayo Dosunmu was fantastic. But that was a game the Nuggets could have won.
Yeah.
I mean, they got two guys go out that are injured, but they just ramped it up. And when they ramped it up, the Nuggets couldn't hang.
Yeah. As you're watching that game unfold, and we'll get to the highlights here in a moment, you're seeing two key players, Anthony Edwards and Donte DiVincenzo, go out with what looked to be devastating injuries. One is for sure. Can't help but think, wow, this series is going to take a turn. It never turned. It stayed right down that Minnesota highway, and they win again the same fashion they won the last two before it.
I'm not sure the injuries helped the Denver Nuggets. Usually you think if two great players go out, that's going to help the other team. But it seemed to kind of energize the Minnesota Timberwolves, and their reserves and their extra guys came in and played great.
Yeah, correct. And look, Ayo Dosunmu did his Anthony Edwards impression. Like, I mean, he put 43 on the board. And so if you're usually in these cases, when you have players like that going out, you have a lack of something, a lack of point production, a lack of shot making, a lack of playmaking. That never happened because Ayo just assumed those roles. And if that was going to happen, now the teams are back even up from a, we're going to produce anyway standpoint. So how did the Nuggets see their way through? They had to swallow a bitter pill today.
Well, let's show you how it all went down. Our Toyota game.
Nuggets can't perform, and then you have this little incident that is, this unwritten rules of basketball. They're happening, and Jokic took it.
Yeah, I don't like the unwritten rules of any sport. I'm sorry. I'm on the other side of this. I think it was inappropriate of Nikola Jokic to go after McDaniels. You're going to run 60 feet in a game. You're getting humbled. I don't know. I just don't think he should do it. I don't think it was a good look. I know there are unwritten rules, but I'm not for them. I don't care about that.
McDaniels was the same guy at Game 7 2 years ago who tried that fancy dunk.
Yeah, but this was just a long pass. He laid it up and in.
Maybe they're tired of Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, I think that's.
So what's the consequence? Well, I mean, you get thrown out of the game. You might be suspended.
Marlo,
down there.
Marlo, you've seen enough basketball games. The game was won. You don't shoot that basket.
Who says? Who says? Vic Lombardi?
How many times?
Chris Dempsey?
How long have you watched basketball?
For 50 years.
So what happens at the end of games like that?
Sometimes they dribble it out. Some guy goes in and gets a dunk. Some guys they make a layup.
And they go in and get a dunk. What happens then?
Everybody goes, what are you doing? You're not supposed to take that.
This isn't breaking news here, Chris.
I'm just telling you, the unwritten rules are the reason they call them unwritten rules because they're not rules. You can do whatever you want.
Sure.
He didn't spin. He didn't do a 360. He didn't showboat. He just laid it in and went over to the bench.
I see your side as well.
Well, you're not seeing it very clearly.
Because you know what? If the Nuggets are mad about that, do something about it.
Well,
do something about stopping Jaden McDaniels maybe earlier in the game.
But at the end of the game with 1.3 remaining, I
actually think that both things are true here. One, it's an unwritten rule that he's frustrating the Nuggets for sure with his play and with his mouth.
Absolutely.
And then, but at the same time, you could say, well, maybe Joker shouldn't have reacted that way. All these things I think in the same bucket are actually true here.
So if it had been Mike Conley doing that,
he would never do it. He would never do it.
Say he did. Would you be okay with that?
First of all,
or not?
You know as well as I do.
Mike Conley would never take that shot. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Mike Conley plays with professionals in class.
How about if Naz Reid do that? Was it just because it was McDaniels?
McDaniel's a big reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of is.
So we go after McDaniels with 1.3 seconds remaining in the game. That's the answer to all the dialogue.
Marlo, I love you. if you did that in a pickup game or in a game that I'd come down the court and do the same thing to you.
I'd brush you off
You
like
know
a
me
fly.
better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and he would deserve it, right?
No,
Yeah.
I just.
But
also-
also, you know what he wouldn't do?
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do it because he knows.
Because he knows.
No, I'd be winning because
It doesn't matter. The Nuggets are down. They're facing elimination. It's going to require a massive, massive rally to win this series. They're down 3-1 when we come back. We will hear from Coach